Hey YouTube, today we're back in Bricktown looking at parking spaces. Hey everyone and welcome to Brick Talk TV, hope you're well. You join me again today in Bricktown and this view as we left it after our bus lanes in the last episode. If you missed the previous episodes then do check out the link in the top right hand corner to the Bricktown Rebuild playlist and hit that subscribe button to be notified about future Bricktown videos, and don't forget, if you like this video, do smash that like button as it helps the channel grow. In our revisit today we're going to be building on the concept we used with our bus lanes by creating a shallow indent onto our paving area to allow cars to pull in and park. We'll be creating a couple of parking bays for disabled drivers and we have a few custom tiles to use as well. Our parking spaces will use parking meters and we have a traffic warden minifigure to patrol Bricktown. We'll probably add some other meters on various roads without the indent, but in this episode we're just going to concentrate on the parking spaces with disabled spots with the indent into the paving area. First up, we need to build our parking meters and parking signs, so let's head over and get building. Our parking meter design here is a replica of the build in the LEGO Diner modular set. We've covered this build before in a previous video where we looked at mini builds for your city, so if you're interested in seeing a few more mini builds and not just the parking meter, then do check out the link in the top right or in the description below. We start with a light bluish grey cone piece, and into that we push through the top a 4-length rod in light bluish grey. We then take an Erling brick in light bluish grey. We will stick onto the Erling brick a 1x1 round tile with a gauge printed on it. This will act as the front part of the meter to show when the person's run out of time. We'll then lay the Erling on its side, and on top of that we'll add a trans clear 1x1 round plate, and on top of that a 1x1 light bluish grey round tile. With those pieces we slot the Erling brick into the top of the rod that we added onto the cone part earlier. We then stick the cone onto a 2x2 jumper tile, and this will be added to a paving area so it looks like it's connected directly to the paving foundations. We've got a few of these create and put around our city, but next up we'll create the parking sign. Here you can see the parking signs. They use the same technique for the foundations and the posts as we used in our traffic light build in a few episodes ago. If you missed that episode, I'll stick a link in the top right hand corner here and in the description below so you can see how we built our traffic lights. This time, however, though, we're going to be using some custom tiles that we've purchased that display some parking information on it with some rules and regulations. I'll put a link to where you can purchase this tile in the description below. We've also purchased a disabled sign, again another custom tile, which we can use to create a signpost for, but in this build I'm actually going to be trying to use it by putting it into the road tiles instead. This by giving us a nice printed area that says it's a disabled parking bay. But we'll see what this looks like and we might modify it in the future and move it into an actual road sign instead. So to start off then, we take two 2x2 round light bluish grey bricks and push them together. We then stick a 2x2 round tile with a hole in the middle on top of those two bricks. Then we'll push in a 3-length axle or rod into the top of the bricks through the centre of the tile. Then we add a connector on top and add a 2-length axle onto the top of that. We then repeat that again. We then finally add our last connector on top, and then we add a 2-ended pin with a loop in the centre into the top connector. Then to finish the post we add one more connector on top, but this time it's got one connection and a loop on top. We add in 2 Technic pins with studs into those 2 loops that we've now got on the post. We can then finally add our 2x4 parking sign tiles into those pin studs and it gives us our parking sign. We've now got 2 parking signs, so let's head over to the Lego room and to Bricktown and let's start deconstructing some paving foundations in order to create the nice parking bays, and during that we're going to speed up the deconstruction. We'll use this pink Cadillac from the diner set as our guide for measuring out how large to make the parking spaces. We'll also be using these smaller 3x3 wedge pieces for our curb indent If you remember, in our bus stop indent we used 6x6 plates, so they were much deeper for the bus. Now let's add our parking sign and parking meter to the paving area, and we may wish to reposition these once we get into a future episode where we're starting to put some paving detail in, but it'll do for now in this position. So here you can see our indent and our parking bay ready for our car. You'll note the disabled tile being used on the floor, as I mentioned, to signify that this is a disabled parking bay. And again, I'm still in two minds about keeping it here, as I think it might actually look better on a road sign instead. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And here you can see how the car fits into that parking bay. We're going to move to the other end of Bricktown now and build another disabled parking space. And again, we'll speed up the deconstruction and reconstruction of this parking bay. And that's our final bay completed. Here you can see what it's going to look like when a car pulls in. As I mentioned, I'll probably add another 5 or 6 parking meters around Bricktown, but without the parking bay indent, as they do add some detail to the paving space, but I don't want to have lots of indents all over the different road areas. In our next episode, do join me as we're going to be placing some more details in our paving area by adding some street lamps and some bins. So keep an eye out for that episode hitting the channel soon. And as a reminder, if you enjoyed this video, do hit that like button so others get to see it, and hit that subscribe button with the bell notification turned on to be notified about the future Bricktown rebuild episodes, including the bins and the streetlights which are coming next. And until next time, stay safe and I'll see you then.